kada mahyam dadati swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निते नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये।
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Too happy to see both of you together in Srimad Bhagavatam. A family that prays together stays together. Have you heard? And there is no higher form of worship than to worship Srimad Bhagavatam. So we will continue with the Chatur Shloki Bhagavatam, the four essential verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, as Srimad Bhagavatam was revealed to Lord Brahma. The first verse, all of you memorize the first verse? Priyanka? बोलिए.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I can't memorize it.
आपने तो याद कर लिया था, नहीं किया था? जब आप वर्स याद करते हो तो उसको बार बार रिपीट करो. कुछ भी कर रहे हो आप कर सकते हो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. मनोराम प्रभु, यू रिसाइट. No one will see in the textbook or in the copy.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna.
अहम एवाशम एवाग्रे न अन्नत यद सत असत परम पश्चात अहम यद एतच्च य अवशिष्येत स अस्मि अहम।
Very good, very good. One more time in full meter without hesitation. Your memory is good, don't worry.
अहम एवाशम एवाग्रे न अन्नत यद सत असत परम पश्चात अहम यद एतच्च य अवशिष्येत स अस्मि अहम।
Very good. Purushottam Prabhu, explain translation.
हरे
Without
कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
book मत देखिएगा.
In this verse, Lord Krishna is explaining to Brahma that before this creation, I was there, and
It was me only who existed. Not only I was there.
yes,
I was there. There were so many others, and with them I was also there. ऐसा है क्या?
नहीं प्रभु,
So,
it was only Krishna.
yeah, it was me only who existed before this creation. And where did he exist?
In special word, Prabhu.
Yes, in the spiritual world, with his spiritual associates, not alone.
Yes.
Okay, then
And at the time of annihilation, he
huh?
was also there.
At the time of annihilation, he was also there. No, yeah. Not the proper explanation. Where they are. Okay. No, this is not complete. This is 1/4. Pradeep, you explain.
हरे कृष्ण
हरे कृष्ण इतना लंबा 2 दिन से एक्सप्लेनेशन दे रहा हूँ.
The supreme personality of Godhead says to Brahma that I only existed before this creation and the spiritual world, nor this material world. Even after the annihilation, I will remain. No, that as a supreme personality of Godhead.
Okay. I exist as Bhagwan in the Vaikuntha and Paramatma within the hearts of the various living entities. Both. This is also confirming that. Okay, we will see the translation and the purport today. We will enter. Why so many videos are off? मानिनी माता जी, आप क्या घर से बाहर घूम रही हैं क्या? हाँ, आदत है. आदत कैसी है कि चाहे लाख बार बोल दें लेकिन आदत से मजबूर है, वो चेंज नहीं होगी. Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who existed before the creation when there was nothing but myself. Nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. Sat asat bhol gaye sab. Na anyat yat sat asat param. वो कोई बोल नहीं रहा है. That when there was nothing but myself, nor there was this material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, Paschadaham, the personality of Godhead. And after annihilation, that which remains will also be I. बस ये बोल रहे हैं ब्रह्मा, I, the personality of Godhead, existed before creation, and after annihilation, I will remain. बाकी सब भूल गए. Okay, let us see the purport now. We should note very carefully that the personality of Godhead is addressing Lord Brahma and specifying with great emphasis himself, pointing out that it is he, the personality of Godhead, who existed before the creation, and it is he only who maintains the creation, and it is he only who remains after the annihilation of the creation. Na jatu nasam, na tu evaham jatu nasam, na tvam neme janadhipa, na chaiva na bhavishyama, sarve vaya mataparam. Second chapter and 12th verse. Krishna has already explained this principle. My dear Arjuna, there was never a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor these assembled kings, nor will they cease to exist in the future. Brahma is also a creation of the Supreme Lord. The impersonalists put forth the theory of oneness in the sense that Brahma also being the same principle of I, because he is emanation from the I, the absolute truth, is identical with the Lord. The principle of I, and that there was nothing more than the principle of I, is explained in this verse. Even if we accept the argument of the impersonalist, what is the principle of I? Who has understood what is the principle of I? बोलिए. Prabhupada is talking about this principle of I. What is this principle of I? अरे कोई स्पेकुलेट थोड़ी करना है, या अभी जो पढ़ा है वही बताना है, वही पूछ रहा हूँ, क्या समझ में आया? Prabhupada is beginning with the principle of I. What is this principle of I? रम्या, दयाशील प्रभु नहीं है?
है प्रभु जी।
वो कुछ और कर रहे हैं, भागवतम सुनने के लिए अभी बिजी है वो. बताइए क्या है प्रिंसिपल ऑफ आई? जल्दी बोलो, अभी तो जस्ट पढ़ा आपने. प्रभुपाद जी एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं. प्रभुपाद जी, क्या प्रिंसिपल ऑफ आई क्या है? बोलिए रविंद्र प्रभु, व्हाट इज दिस प्रिंसिपल ऑफ आई?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, everyone it comes from Supreme Lord and identical with.
प्रिंसिपल ऑफ आई क्या है? सिद्धांत क्या है ये किसका सिद्धांत है? क्यों प्रभुपाद जी शुरुआत ही इससे कर रहे हैं? माननीय माता जी, व्हाट इज दिस प्रिंसिपल ऑफ आई?
Everything is existing in Lord only.
A little louder, cannot hear.
Prabhu, everything is exist only in Lord only.
No. रम्या, म्यूट अनम्यूट करके बोली. Can you hear Ramya? If you have the answer, then you please speak after unmute. Unmute करके बोलेंगे तभी सुनाई देगा. I think she cannot hear. मनोराम प्रभु, quickly, what is this principle of I? अरे लिखा है उसमें यार, पकड़ लो, वहीं लिखा हुआ है. आवाज नहीं आ रहा आप लोग को? Can you not hear me? मनोराम.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, here two eyes are speaking. So
अरे not that यार.
Lord
What?
Brahma and the Supreme.
No. Prabhupada is, you have not understood Prabhupada so far. What is this principle of I? Prabhupada is hammering. You see how this is the skill. This is the beauty of Prabhupada purport. Prabhupada is hammering the impersonality. The principle of I is the principle of the impersonality, the foolish principle. There is no principle. Every time what they are trying to do, they are trying to make it at the level of the Lord, the oneness. What they are saying, Aham Brahmasmi. This is the principle of I, the impersonalist. I stands for these impersonalist people, foolish people, who are always trying to equate themselves with the Supreme Lord. That the Brahma is also eternal and the Supreme Lord is also eternal. So there is oneness. There is no difference. The Prabhupada is explaining this principle of I. Abhi dekho dhyan se suno. Brahma is also a creation of the Lord. The impersonalists put forth the theory of oneness in the sense that Brahma also being the same principle of I. Because he is emanation from the I, the absolute truth is identical with the Lord, the principle of I, and that there is nothing more than the principle of I is explained in this verse. Even if we accept the argument of the impersonalist, समझ में आया? It is to be admitted that the Lord is the creator I and Brahma is the created I. Therefore, there is difference between the two I's, namely the predominator I, that is the Supreme Lord, and the predominated I, which is the living entity, including Lord Brahma. Therefore, still there are two I's, even if we accept the argument of the impersonalist. अभी समझ में आ गया? Principle of I. But we must note carefully that the Vedic literature, these two eyes are accepted as one only in the sense of quality. The Kathopanishad says, Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam, Eko Bahunam, Yo Vidadhati Kaman. The creator eye and the created eye are accepted in the Vedas as qualitatively one, because both of them are Nityas and Chetanas. But the singular I is the creator I, and the created eyes are plural number because they are many eyes. Eko bahunam yo vidadhati kamam. Because both of them are nityas and chetanas. Even though both have the same quality, both are nityas, both are eternal, and both are chetanas, both are conscious. But one is the creator and all other are created. But the singular I is the creator and the created eyes are of plural number because there are many eyes like Brahma and those generated by Brahma. It is a simple truth. Okay. So Brahma and all the categories created by Brahma are in one category and the Supreme Lord is another category. The father creates or begets the son. Prabhupada gives a very graphic example. The father creates or begets a son. And the son also creates so many other sons. And all of them may be one as human beings. But at the same time, the father, the son, and the grandsons are all different. The son cannot take the place of the father, nor can the grandsons. Simultaneously, the father, the son, and the grandsons are one and different also. As human beings, they are one, but as relatives, they are different. Therefore, the relativities of the creator and the created, or the predominator and the predominated, have been differentiated in the Vedas by saying that the predominator eye is the feeder of the predominated eyes. And thus, there is a vast difference between the two principles of eye. Okay, this is one explanation. In another feature of this verse, no one can deny the personalities of both Lord and Brahma. Therefore, in the ultimate issue, both the predominator and predominated are person. So, this Prabhupada is explaining from a different view. This conclusion refutes the conclusion of the impersonalists that in the ultimate issue, everything is impersonal. This impersonal feature is stressed by the less intelligent impersonalist school is refuted by pointing out that the predominator I is the absolute truth and that he is a person. The predominated I, Brahma, is also a person, but he is not the absolute. So please understand from this feature, that even if this feature is taken that both are impersonal. The impersonal feature stressed by the less intelligent impersonalist school is refuted. Okay. First was the creator and the created, and now Prabhupada puts forward the predominator and the predominated. Here, the impersonal feature stressed by the less intelligent impersonal school is refuted by pointing out that the predominator I is the absolute truth and that he is a person. The predominated I, Brahma, and all other coming from Brahma is also a person, but is not the absolute. For realization of oneself in spiritual psychology, it may be convenient to assume oneself to be of the same principle as the absolute truth, but there is always a difference of the predominated and the predominator. As clearly pointed out here in this verse, which is grossly misused by the impersonalist. Brahma is factually seeing face to face his predominated Lord, who exists in his transcendental eternal form even after an annihilation of the material creation. The form of the Lord as seen by Brahma existed before the creation of Brahma and the material manifestations, with all the ingredients and agents of material creation, is an expansion of the Lord's energy. Listen here very carefully. The form of the Lord as seen by Brahma existed before the creation of Brahma and the material manifestation. So neither Brahma was born, nor was material nature. So what he saw the form of the Lord before creation, with all the ingredients and agents of material creation. What is that? With all the ingredients and agents of material creation is what? बोले? Na anyat yat sat asat param. So what is that? Yes, Ramya?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, the cause and effect of material creation, that is
Yes.
Mahavishnu and Mahatattva.
Mahatattva. This here it is Mahatattva. It is the Mahatattva, which is the ingredients and agents of material creation, is an expansion of the Lord's energies. And after the exhibition of Lord energy comes to a close, what remains is the same personality of Godhead. Even after analyzation, what happens is Mahatattva again converts into Pradhan. Therefore, the form of the Lord exists in all circumstances of creation, maintenance, and annihilation. The Vedic hymns confirm this fact in the statement, Vasudevo yo idam agra asin na Brahma na cha Shankara eko vai Narayana Singh na Brahma nisheshana. Therefore, before the creation, there was none except Vasudev. There was neither Brahma nor Shankara, only Narayan was there and no one else. Neither Brahma nor Ishana. Sripad Shankaracharya also confirms in his comments in the Bhagavad Gita that Narayan, the personality of Godhead, is transcendental to all creation, but the whole creation is a product of Avyakta. Whole creation is a product of Avyakta. Therefore, the difference between the created and the creator is always there, although both the created and created are of a same quality. Okay? कोई प्रश्न है या आगे बढ़े? इस तत्व को समझना बहुत जरूरी है. दिस इज संबंध. दिस वर्स स्पीक्स अबाउट संबंध. ज्ञानम, and with jnanam what will convert it to realization, vijnanam. So this knowledge, this realization was received in the heart by Lord Brahma. So he had no confusion. He had complete clarity. Another feature of this verse is the statement that the supreme truth is Bhagavan, or the personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead and his kingdom have already been explained. The kingdom of Godhead is not void as conceived by the impersonalist. The Vaikuntha planets are full of transcendental variegatedness, including the 400 residents of those planets with great opulence of wealth and prosperity. And there are even airplanes and other amenities. The Vaikuntha planets are full of transcendental variegatedness, including the 400 residents of those planets with great opulence of wealth and prosperity. And there are even airplanes and other amenities required for high-grade personalities. Therefore, the personality of Godhead exists before the creation. He exists with all transcendental variegatedness in the Vaikuntha lokas. Partasmatu bhavo anyo avyakto avyak sanatana. So that spiritual world, the Vaikuntha planet, it is always existing. The Vaikuntha lokas also accepted in the Bhagavad Gita as being of the Sanatan nature, are not annihilated even after the annihilation of the manifested cosmos. This is the same verse. 8th chapter, I think this verse number is 20, 8.20. Yes. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and it is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. When Prabhupada says, short purport, Krishna's superior spiritual energy is transcendental and eternal. It is beyond all the changes of material nature, which is manifest and annihilated during the day and night of Brahma. Krishna's superior energy is completely opposite to in quality to material nature. Superior and inferior nature are explained in the 7th chapter. Okay. The Vaikuntha Lokas are also accepted in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Those transcendental planets are of different nature altogether. And that nature is not subjected to the rules and regulations of material creation, maintenance, or annihilation. Why? Because it is spiritual. It is beyond the material realm. The existence of the personality of Godhead implies the existence of the Vaikuntha Lokas. The existence of the personality of Godhead implies the existence of the Vaikuntha Loka, as the existence of the king implies the existence of a kingdom. In various places in Srimad Bhagavatam and in other revealed scriptures, the existence of personality of Godhead is mentioned. For example, in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.8.10, Maharaj Parishit asks, Sāci yatra purusho vishvastiti ubhavayorapi yayo muktvatma mayam mayesha shete sarva guhashaya. How does the personality of Godhead the cause of creation, maintenance, and annihilation? Who is always freed from the influence of the illusionary energy. So what is the words here of creation? Vishwa, Sthiti, Ubhava, Api, Yaya. And Muktu Atma, Mayam, Mayesha. He is always freed from the influence of the illusionary energy. And he is Mayesha. He is the controller of the same. Isha means the controller. He lies in everyone's heart. Sarva Guhashaya. Similar is also a question of Vidura. Tatvanam Bhagavam Stesham Katidha Pratishankrama Tatremam Ka Upshira Kayusvet Anuswaret. In his note, Sridhar Swami explains that the later part of this verse, during the period when the creation has been annihilated, who serves the Lord as he lies on Shesha, indicates that the transcendental Lord, with all his name, fame, qualities, and paraphernalia, exists eternally. The same confirmation is also there in the Kashi Khand of the Skanda Puran in connection with Dhruv Charita. It is said that Na chavanti api yad bhakta Mahatyam pralayapadi ato achyut akhile loke saika sargo avyaya. Na chavanti. Chavanti means to fall down or to be annihilated. Not to speak of the personality of Godhead himself, even his devotees are not annihilated during the period of the annihilation of the entire material world. This is in reference to Dhruvlok. The Dhruvlok, the annihilation cannot influence, cannot disturb. The Lord is ever existence in all three stages of material changes. Ato achyuta akhila loke. Sa eka sarvago avyaya. Avyaya means it is imperishable. World that is imperishable cannot be perished or annihilated. A very important aspect. Please try to remain connected and don't allow your mind to disconnect. So this is establishing how the Supreme Lord, his abode and his associates, they are all eternal. For them this material phenomena has no influence, no impact. The impersonalists adduce no activity in the Supreme. Now, this is another aspect. The impersonalists adduce no activity in the Supreme. Because it has not, if the Supreme does not have the form, then how he will have the function? समझ में आ रहा है? हाँ। जब सुप्रीम का फॉर्म ही नहीं है तो फिर फंक्शन कहाँ से आ जाएगा? जब उनका रूप ही नहीं है, स्वरूप नहीं है, तो क्रिया प्रतिक्रिया कहाँ से आएगी? हाँ, इट इज फ्रॉम देम, इट इज unmanifest and it is inactive. But that is not the fact. As Prabhupada is explaining here. The impersonalists adduce no activity in the Supreme. But in this discussion between Brahma and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord is said to have activities also, as he has form and qualities. The activities of Brahma and other demigods during the maintenance of the creation are to be understood as the activities of the Lord. The king or the, Prabhupada gives the example, please hear attentively. The king or the executive of a state may not be seen in the government office, for he may be engaged in royal comforts. Yet it should be understood that everything is being done under his direction, and everything is at his command. The personality of Godhead is never formless. In the material world, he may not be visible in his personal form to the less intelligent class of men, and therefore he may sometimes be called formless. Because he is not visible, spiritual form cannot be accessed, but actually he is always in his eternal form in his Vaikuntha planet as well as in other planets of the universe as different incarnations. The example of the sun is very appropriate in this connection. At night, the sun may not be visible to the eyes of men in the darkness, but the sun is visible wherever it has risen. That the sun is not visible to the eyes of the inhabitants of a particular part of the earth does not mean that the sun has no form. In the Brihad Aranyak Upanishad 141, there is a hymn, Atmeva Vedam Agre Asid Purusha Vidah. This mantra indicates that the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna existed even before the appearance of the Purusha incarnation. Clear? There's no doubt in this? Yes or no? That Krishna existed even before the Purusha incarnation. How? Who will explain? Manini Mataji, can you explain?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, प्रभु जी हर ब्रह्मांड में गर्भोदय कृष्ण है।
No, Prabhupada is mentioning here that the Supreme Personality of Godhead existed even before the Purusha incarnation. क्या मतलब है? पुरुषा incarnation है क्या? छह प्रकार के अवतार प्रोमिनेंट है ना? हम सुनते हैं कि छह प्रकार के अवतार हैं प्रबल। बताइए वो छह अवतार क्या है?
क्या अवतार?
6 avatars are, although avatars are unlimited, but Prabhupada classifies there 6 of the avatars are prominent. So what are the 6 avatars? उसमें से एक पुरुषा अवतार है।
लीला अवतार,
लीला अवतार, yes.
गुण अवतार,
Yes.
याद नहीं आ रहा।
क्या हाल है? इतना बेसिक फिलॉसफी क्लियर नहीं है. What are the 6 types of prominent avatar? So one of them is Purusha avatar. Then there is Manvantar avatar. Then there is Guna avatar. And then there is Satyavesh avatar. कहाँ दिया है ये? Where is it mentioned? Who will explain? Who remembers? Where are these avatars mentioned? प्रभुपाद जी अपने कई परपोर्ट्स में देते हैं. कोई बात नहीं, इधर मेरी तरफ लाइट चला गया है, लेकिन मेरा आवाज आ रहा है ना आप लोग को? यू कैन हियर. और राधा पास आरती तो नजर आई नहीं. ये फर्क है. ये भी देखा, प्रैक्टिकल आ गया. हाँ. वो इटर्नल है, हम इटर्नल नहीं है. हम मैनिफेस्ट होते हैं और अनमैनिफेस्ट हो जाते हैं. फिर मैनिफेस्ट हो गए, लेकिन वो वही रहते हैं. ही इज ऑलवेज देयर, इटर्नल. देखो इतना बढ़िया भगवान ने अभी इतना प्रैक्टिकल हमारे लिए एक डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन कर दिया. So he is the cause of even the Purusha avatar. He is the cause of all the avatars. So of course he existed before all the avatars. Because from him all the avatars emanate. Krishna existed even before the appearance of the Purusha incarnation. The Bhagavad Gita 15:18 it is said that Krishna is Purushottama, the supreme Purusha, because he is transcendent even to the Akshara Purusha and the Shara Purusha. The Akshara Purusha or the Mahavishnu throws his glance over Prakriti or material nature, but the Purushottama existed even before that. Please recite this verse 15-18. 15वां अध्याय तो सबको याद है या नहीं है? 15 अध्याय से तो शुरुआत किया था हमने अपना जूम क्लास. बोलो भाई, जल्दी बोलो. 15-18 क्या वर्ष है? बिना देखे, किताब नहीं खोलनी है. 15-18 उसका ट्रांसलेशन तो प्रभुपाद जी ने ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन कर दिया, पढ़ दिया. बोलिए क्या वर्ष है? Pradeep, you remember? You had memorized 15th chapter? Yes?
Yes, Lord. यस्मात्कारणम् अतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोकवेदेश प्रतिता पुरुषोत्तम.
यस्मात् शरम अतीतो हम. अभी देखो फिर अनमैनिफेस्ट हो गए. लाइट फिर चली गई. देखो राधा पास आरती दिख रहा है, मैं नहीं दिख रहा. अभी आ गए. देखो ऐसा ही है. हम सब ऐसे ही आते जाते रहते हैं. ओ इस नित्यो नित्यानाम and his chetanas chetananam. So he is yasmat sharam atitoham. Sharas are where? In the material world. And he says aksharas api cha uttama. And where is aksharas? Infallible people. They are in the spiritual world. And even amongst the aksharas, who's the main, the highest akshara, that is the super soul. So he says yasmad sharam atitoham aksharat api cha uttama. So who is uttam akshara? It is super soul. But his Bhagwan is even higher than the super soul. Yasma sharam atitoham aksharat api chottama atay asmi lok vede cha. And in the Vedic literatures, I am defined as Pratita Purushottamaha. Who is Uttam Purusha? Uttam amongst all the Purushas, even the super soul. That is Bhagavan. Now what is the next verse? Yes. Pratita Purushottama. What was it? Yo mam evam asammudho janati Purushottama. Yo mam evam asammudho janati Purushottama. Sa sarvit bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. Okay, this is the 19th verse. Pradeep.
True.
And what is the 20th verse? Last verse. यो माम एवं असम्मूढ़ो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमा स सर्विस भजति माम सर्वभयवैर्वा इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदम उक्त्वा मया नघ एतद् बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमानस्य what is the last line कृतकृतश्च भारत so that is also called त्रिश्लोकी गीता याद है भूल भल गए बताया था ना चतुर्श्लोकी गीता is in the 10th chapter and the त्रिश्लोकी गीता is where you remember Purdeep they have all forgotten रम्या आपके खाली आपका ये कैमरा सही नहीं है आप लोग नहीं दिख रहे आप भी दिखें वो ये सही नहीं है टेढ़ा दिख रहा है अपसाइड डाउन है मालूम है फिर क्या है उल्टा पुल्टा दिख रहा है हाँ? अभी ये जितना हमारा उल्टा पुल्टा कंसेप्शन है उसको प्रभुपाद जी सीधा करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं ये सब इतने जन्मों का इम्पर्सनलिस्ट ये प्रिंसिपल ऑफ आई है आई एंड माइंड ये बार बार हर जगह घुस जाता है उसको ध्वस्त कर रहे हैं ओके विल गो फॉरवर्ड ट्राई टू कंप्लीट दिस purport टुडे इफ पॉसिबल ये तीसरा क्लास है यार इस वर्स के ऊपर The Shara Purusha or the Mahavishnu throws his glance over Prakriti or material nature, but the Purushottama existed even before that. The Brahmaranya Upanishad confirms the statement of the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord Krishna is the Supreme Person, Purushottama. In some of the Vedas, it is also said that in the beginning only the impersonal Brahman existed. Acha. However, according to the present verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, the impersonal Brahma, which is the glowing effulgence of the body of the Supreme Lord, may be called the immediate cause. But the cause of all causes or the remote cause is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord's impersonal feature is existent in the material world because by material senses or material eyes, the Lord cannot be seen or perceived. One has to spiritualize the senses before one can expect to see or perceive the Supreme Lord. But he is always engaged in his personal capacity and he is eternally visible to the inhabitants of Vaikuntha Lokas, eye to eye. Therefore, he is materially impersonal, just as the executive head of the state may be impersonal in the government offices, although he is not impersonal in the government house. Similarly, the Lord is not impersonal in his abode. It is always nirasta kuhukam, as stated in the very beginning of the Bhagavatam. What is the last line? Just mention the last line.
Satyam Param Deen.
This nirasta kuhukam should come now. Okay, this is one line before that. Dhamna Sven Sada Nirasta Kuhukam. Where is he? He is in his Dhamna Sven Sada in his spiritual abode. He is in his abode, which is always Nirasta Kuhukam, as stated by the very beginning of Bhagavatam. Therefore, both the impersonal and the personal feature of the Lord are acceptable, as mentioned in the revealed scriptures. This dual quality of the personality of Godhead is very emphatically stated in Bhagavad Gita in the verse beginning, Brahmano hi pratishtaham. Therefore, in all ways, the confidential part of spiritual knowledge is realization of the personality of Godhead. Please hear this very attentively. This statement is a golden statement. Prabhupada says, therefore, in all ways, the confidential part of spiritual knowledge is the realization of the personality of Godhead and not his impersonal Brahman feature. And if this realization has not come, then that means one is not situated in spiritual knowledge. One remains in avidya. One should therefore have his ultimate aim of realization not in the personal feature, but in the personal feature of the absolute truth. The example of the sky within the pot and the sky outside the pot may be helpful to the student for his realization of the all-pervading quality of cosmic consciousness of the absolute truth. But that does not mean that the individual part and parcel of the Lord becomes the supreme by false claim. It means only that the conditioned soul is victim of the illusionary energy in her last snare. To claim to be one with the cosmic consciousness of the Lord is the last trap of the illusionary energy of Devi Maya. Even in the impersonal existence of the Lord, as it is in the material creation, one should aspire for personal realization of the Lord, and that is the meaning of Pashchad Aham Yad Etak Cha Yo Visheshet So Asmi Aham. Okay, थोड़ा सा ही बचा है. Brahmaji also accepted the same truth when he was instructing Narad. He said, So ayam te abhihitas tata Bhagwan Vishwa Bhavana. There is no cause of all causes other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari. Therefore, the verse under discussion beginning Aham Eva indicates anything other than the Supreme Lord, and no one should therefore follow the path of the. That beginning Aham Eva indicates anything other than the Supreme Lord, and one should therefore follow the path of the Brahma Sampradaya or the path from Brahmaji to Narad to Vyasadeva, etc., and make it a point in life to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari or Lord Krishna. This is Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. If this realization has not come, or this is not the aim, everything else is useless waste of time. Shram eva hi kevalam. This is very confidential instruction to the pure devotees of the Lord. Was also given to Arjuna as well as to Brahma in the beginning of the creation. The demigods like Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Indra, Chandra and Varuna are undoubtedly different forms of the Lord for execution of different functions. And the different elemental ingredients of material creation as well as the multifarious energies are emanations of the same personality of Godhead. But the root of all of them is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. One should be attached to the root of everything rather than bewildered by the branches and leaf. That is the instruction given in this verse. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. This is a very, very powerful verse where Krishna is dispelling all doubts for everyone. You should all write. ओके तो प्लीज आलस छोड़िए. क्या बोलते हैं श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी, सिद्धांत जानिया चित्ते थे ना करिए आलस. अगर सिद्धांत जानना है तो चित्त से जो आलस की प्रवृत्ति है उसका त्याग करना पड़ेगा. और आप सब लिखिए कि क्या अंडरस्टैंडिंग हुआ. अहमेवा समेवाग्रे ना अन्यत यत् सत असत परम. पश्चाद अहम, तो क्या है ये सब और किस प्रकार से दिस वर्स टॉक्स अबाउट आवर संबंध ज्ञान. ये संबंध ज्ञान शुड बी वेरी क्लियर, तभी अभिधेय में एंटर होंगे, वरना अभिधेय होगा नहीं जीवन भर. बार बार जो इल्यूजनरी एनर्जी है वो हमें बार बार खींच के वहीं रखेगी। बार बार फिर बिविल्डर हो जाएंगे जब लाइफ में थोड़ा भी ट्विस्ट टर्न आएगा, फिर वी विल बी फूल्ड बाय माया। लिखिए, अपने इस संबंध को स्थापित करिए। हरे कृष्णा। किसी का कोई प्रश्न है? प्रश्न है तो पूछिए। यस दयाशील एंड रम्या माता जी।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्णा।
प्रभु जी, यहाँ पे जो लास्ट पैराग्राफ में लिखा गया है कि अम, इस वर्ष का जो एक्चुअल जो था कि दैट सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी ऑफ गॉड हेड लॉर्ड हरि हर कृष्णा, वो रियलाइजेशन ही है ना, करना चाहिए। तो प्रैक्टिकली प्रभु जी हम कैसे पता चलेगा कि हम भगवान रियलाइजेशन में हैं या नहीं है? कैसे हमें पता चलेगा ये?
वो बताया ना, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ आइनस एंड माइनस से फ्री हो जाएंगे। अगर प्रिंसिपल ऑफ आइनस और माइनस से फ्री नहीं हुए तो अभी फंसे हुए हैं। प्रभुपाद जी यहीं से तो शुरू कर रहे हैं। तो प्रभुपाद जी कितनी अच्छे से इसको एक्सप्लेन किए हैं, कितनी तरीके से एक्सप्लेन किए, क्रिएटर एंड क्रिएटेड, प्रिडोमिनेटर एंड प्रिडोमिनेटेड। तो समस्या कहाँ रहेगी? अगर हमको ये रियलाइजेशन आ जाएगा तब तो कोई समस्या है ही नहीं ना। समस्या तो तभी तक है जब तक कि अविद्या है। अपने को सेपरेट समझते हैं कृष्ण से, इसलिए सेपरेट एजेंडा है, सेपरेट एफर्ट कर रहे हैं, सेपरेट एस्पायरेशंस। तो वो सब क्या है? वो सब माया का प्रभाव है, उसमें फंसे हुए। ब्रह्मा जी इस प्रयास से हट गए। क्यों? क्योंकि उन्होंने तपस्या की और भगवान ने उनको ये साक्षात्कार दे दिया है, भागवतम का साक्षात्कार दे दिया। ठीक है, इसलिए कह रहा हूँ हृदय लगा के लिखिए। लिखेंगे तो बड़ा दिमाग के ऊपर बहुत जोर लगाना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अंदर जितना सब पड़ा भरा हुआ है। क्या भरा हुआ है? ये प्रिंसिपल ऑफ आइनेस और माइनस। समझते हैं अपने को, हाँ, हिज हाइनेस, वो हटाना पड़ेगा। और हाइनेस तो कृष्ण की हिज होलीनेस है, वो देखनी पड़ेगी। तो पर्दा हटेगा, तो हटाने का प्रयास करिए। ठीक है, तभी हम दूसरे वर्ष में जाएंगे, नहीं तो जाने का कोई फायदा नहीं है। जब संबंध नहीं हुआ तो अभिधेय कहाँ से आएगा? अभिधेय होगा ही नहीं। अभिधेय समझ रहे हैं ना? द प्रोसेस ऑफ डिवोशनल सर्विस, वो प्रैक्टिस पे आएंगे ही नहीं, उस ट्रांसेंडेंटल लेवल पे कनेक्ट ही नहीं होंगे। क्यों? कनेक्शन ही नहीं है। हरे कृष्णा। मैं आज एक डिवोटी से मिला। हाँ, वो तो काफी अच्छा बड़ा बिजनेस है, गृहस्था डिवोटी है, मेरा बहुत अच्छा क्लोज फ्रेंड है। ही केम फ्रॉम वृंदावन एंड ही टोल्ड मी दैट दिस फ्रॉम दिस कार्तिक ही हैज टेकन वन सर्विस, that he is daily from 3:45 in the evening, evening क्या afternoon, till almost 6:45 in the evening. Every day he is assisting in Krishna Balram kitchen, DT kitchen, to the main devotee who is cooking for Krishna Balram and Radhesham. बोला मैं अब वृंदावन से बाहर ही नहीं निकलता, क्योंकि मेरी सेवा ना छूट जाए या उसमें बाधा ना आ जाए। मैं कहा यार तो बहुत बड़ा कमिटमेंट है। बोला यस। बोला somehow Krishna arranged and I am enjoying it and I don't want to uh, get any badha, any obstruction in this. Everything else is farce. It is not required in my life. He is a family man. वो हमारी सारी ड्रेसेस बनाते हैं भगवान की। मैं बोला मैं अब बाहर ही नहीं निकल रहा वृंदावन से। बोला जब तक ये सेवा चल रही है मेरे को नहीं जाना कहीं, मेरे कुछ जाना ही नहीं। दिस इज कॉल्ड संबंधा। हाँ, तब वो सेवा संबंध समझ में आ गया तो सेवा बढ़िया चलती है। ता हेतु की अप्रतिहा होती है, नहीं तो बार बार ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन आता रहे। क्यों? क्योंकि संबंध ज्ञान क्लियर है ही नहीं। ओके, तो लिखिए, सुन रहे हैं, सबके सब लिखिए, जितनी बुद्धि है उसके अनुसार लिखिए इस वर्ष की क्या अंडरस्टैंडिंग है। ठीक है, इस पे और डिस्कशन करना है तो कल और डिस्कशन कर सकते हैं, आगे नहीं बढ़ रहे हैं। ठीक है, अपना प्रिपरेशन करिए और कल इस पे प्रेजेंटेशन दीजिए। कल कौन बोलेगा इस पे प्रेजेंटेशन, कौन देगा? चलिए, लिखेंगे तो है नहीं, इससे बेटर रिप्रेजेंटेशन करें। मनोराम प्रभु, यू विल एक्सप्लेन। आप अपना पावर पॉइंट से एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, आपका तो पावरफुल पावर पॉइंट होगा। हम्म, बोलिए। ठीक है, थोड़ा सा समय निकालिए, कोई बात नहीं, करिए। ठीक है, कल वी विल हियर फ्रॉम मनोराम प्रभु एंड वी विल डिस्कस ऑन बेसिस ऑफ व्हाट ही विल से। देयर इज नो नीड, क्योंकि ये 4 वर्ष समझ में आ गए तो भागवतम समझ में आ गई। अगर ये 4 वर्ष समझ में नहीं आए तो जो मर्जी करते रहे, कोई फायदा नहीं है। ठीक है, ब्रह्मा जी को भगवान ने 18,000 वर्ष थोड़ी बोले, वो 4 वर्ष बोले, वो सब समझ में आ गया उनको, उन्होंने पूरी सृष्टि कर दी, कोई समस्या नहीं हुई। ओके मनोराम प्रभु, सो with your effort we will try to dive deeper in this verse, of different dimensions, how the Supreme Lord's position is so superlative, no one can compete. Thank you very much. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी, all glories to the assembled devotees.